Welcome to an all new edition of Big Woo Top 20 Countdown. This week, we're counting down the top 20 spring songs, according to who? Me, 'cause in honor of the first day of spring. And you guys are talking to our guest, Bo Hullen. I'm so excited. You guys, let's get into this countdown. The number 20 song comes from Stevie B. This song is called Spring Love. Let's get into it. Spring Love by Stevie B on Big O's Top 20 Spring Countdown, baby. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, that was our number 19 song, Casey Musgraves with Butterflies. And now we're talking to our guest, Bo Hullen. Man, I'm gonna tell you, he is an awesome person. He used to be my counselor. Let's be real about it. He used to be my counselor, and he sings in the quartet. He's in social work. He's in a lot of stuff. I'm let him tell you about himself. How you doing, Bo?
Oh, I'm good today, man. Grateful to be alive, and um, grateful to be on your podcast, man. So we can take
Tell
that
my
off.
listeners about
Huh?
tell my listeners about yourself.
Oh, well, man. First of all, I'm an old man. I'm I'm 71 years old, man, and uh, as he stated a few minutes ago, I am doing a lot of things. I work uh, in the field. I'm a marriage and family therapist, and currently I'm working with the homeless population, trying to make sure everybody is squared away. It's a monumental task, but the gains are extremely satisfying. You know, uh, but I think let me get to a little bit of what I do as a hobby.
Okay.
What I do is my hobby. Well, I stopped probably about 4 months ago, but uh, basketball is my hobby, one of them.
Okay.
And so, since I had to kind of back up a little bit from that, being 71,
Mm.
um, I'm with a singing group. I'm with a
Okay.
singing group. We call ourselves the Traditions. I started this group, I think, like in 2003. So
Mm.
we've been around for a while, and in fact, we have our farewell show coming up on May 3rd. So
Mm.
I will get all the pertinent information to please come by and check us out. We're kind of like a old school flavor, but we do throw in a little new stuff here and there. It's going to be a very interesting final show, a farewell show as we call it.
What made you start the group instead
Well,
of just someone else?
actually, there was a contest that was going on at the Bonaventure Hotel, downtown Los Angeles, and it was actually a gong show.
Hmm.
And they invited some people, so I got together with my guys. I said, "Hey, man, do you guys want to go and win this money? Because it was a prize money."
Hmm.
They said, "Well, yeah." I said, "Well, I have an idea." So we put together the idea. We put some choreography together, and we done a few songs, which turned out great. And the reason that it turned out great is because, nowadays you have a lot of solo artists. You have a lot of rap artists, which, rap genre is great. There's some powerful music in it, as evidenced by a recent Super Bowl halftime show.
Hmm.
So, and so, but what has been missing from, we're going to take it back to the 70s and even earlier.
Hmm.
I think probably the closest thing they got to that, and they have far exceeded in a lot of areas, is New Edition.
Mm. Yeah.
And there are a
Yeah.
few other groups, but you rarely see groups that come together all dressed alike and put some choreography to the songs that they sing.
That's
And I
cool.
think that's what kind of separated us from a lot of other singers, and especially the ones that were at this show. at this gong show.
Okay.
And yeah, so we it took off, man, and from there we just said, hey, man, let's keep this thing going for as long as we can. And 2025, we still going strong to the point where it's been a long time coming. So we, again, this is going to be our farewell show.
You know what? We're going to talk more to you about that. But let's get back in this countdown. The number 18 song comes from the Beatles. This song is called Here Comes the Sun. Let's get into it. Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles on Big Woo! Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, I stole that from Soul Train. Uh, yeah. You guys, that was the number 17 song. Nina Simone with Feeling Good. Sun in the sky, and I'm feeling good. You see, I can sing too.
I've seen you. I've witnessed you.
Oh yeah. But you never been to one of my shows. But we're gonna be all right. You know what? But you know what? That makes two ones. I've never seen one. I've never been to one of your shows, and you've never been to one of my shows. But that's gonna change May 3rd. I'll be there.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, so, Bo, you said you started the group. Uh, you've been going strong for the past 21, almost 22 years.
Yeah, about
You
22
told me
years.
this before. You told me this before, but uh, actually, yeah, I'm gonna ask a question. How come you guys have never recorded an album?
Well, because again, this is a hobby of ours. This is not something
Okay.
we're trying to make a living off of. We do a lot of different venues. We do a lot of different events,
Hmm.
from dealing with nonprofit organizations to to putting on a show for maybe a grand opening or something, to doing a
Hmm.
birthday party for somebody. uh, there's a couple of events that we've done that are dealing with different foundations, man, that help the needy, and we just perform. Again, it's just a hobby. It's not
Okay.
something that, again, some people turn their talents into a business for themselves.
Yeah.
Thus, they start going into the studio, recording and selling records and doing original stuff and so on and so forth. But we just trying to have some fun as we continue to age in this in our time, and hopefully not allow our music, our cultural music, to die or lose its energy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good. Yeah. That's a good question. And then you told me before. But why now? You told me privately. Why are you? Why do you decide now is the time to give up?
Well, been at this for a long time, man. Been at this a while. And, again, being 71, I'll be 72 a little later on in the year. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it takes a toll, man. It's the rehearsal. A lot of people, I kind of akin, uh, musical groups to basketball players.
Okay.
Well, Bo, what do you mean by that? Basketball
Mhm.
players.
Yeah.
Well,
What do you
the
mean?
fact is, when you look at the TV basketball players, you look at the Kobe's, the LeBrons, and the Magics, and all of that. Uh, it's like you see them in their final product. They
Yeah.
slam dunking and reversing and, shooting high arcing 3 pointers and, just driving to the lane with these acrobatic moves.
Yeah.
People have to remember that didn't come overnight. They just didn't walk on the court and start doing that. That came from years of practice, 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 hours and hours. So much so that you're throwing up at practice. You're practicing so
Wow.
hard. So,
Yeah.
but all we see is the final product. Oh, look at that. And it's the same thing with a group, man. We just don't walk out there and say, poof, let's do this. No, we've been practicing and practicing and practicing. And I understand totally how singing groups, a lot of them have
Hmm.
short lifespans,
Yes.
group wise,
Yes.
because it's hard for a group to stay together. It really is. I mean, as good as New Edition were, at some point, the group fractured and they split up, and doing they start some of them started doing individual projects, and so yeah, that comes from all of that working together, man, over many, many years and many, many hours and days and so on and so forth.
Hmm. I can understand. I definitely understand that. But we're going to talk more to you. First of all, for a compliment, I gotta give you a compliment. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass, but you really don't look 71. You really
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
You're a definition of black don't crack, brother. I'm serious. I was like, you're that old? I'm like, no. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, wow, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. Well, we're going to talk more to you, but let's get back in this countdown. Number 16 song comes from Natasha Bedingfield. This song is called Unwritten. Let's get into it. Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. Yeah, y'all, that was the number 15 song, the Avent Brothers with A Father's First Spring. And if you're just now joining us, we're talking to our guest, Bo Hullen, but also we're counting down the top 20 spring songs. Now it's time to get the first extra song of the week. First extra song of the week is by a good friend of the show. She has been on the show for, wow, how many? It's been years since she's been on the show. It's been like 5 years. It's been a long time, but she has a brand new song called "Baby I Love You," and this is by our girl Sarah Lightman. And she is awesome, awesome, and I love this song. Let's get into it. The first extra song of the week, Sarah Lightman, "Baby I Love You" with on Big Top 20 Countdown, baby. Yeah, yeah, you guys. That was the number. That was the extra song of the week. I'm skipping ahead of myself. We're talking to our guest, Bo. Bo, what you know? Remember Bo knows? You remember those
Oh
commercials?
yeah, yeah. I get that a whole lot, man. I get that a whole lot.
Oh man! So you're talking about your singing group, and you're talking about you retiring from the singing thing. Uh, so after this, you won't be doing any more gigs, like any more solo gigs, anything like that,
Well,
or
well, it's like, again, officially we're retired, but if someone has a unique situation, we, would definitely consider performing, that one shot deal for them. But in terms of us putting together shows and, producing our own shows and so on and so forth, that's where we're kind of ending things. But again, if a situation arises and uh, someone has something unique and they have seen us, heard us, or maybe heard of us, and want us to do a final run for them, you know, the group would probably be open to that. But that's something that, of course, I would have to discuss with the group, and that's one thing about our group. There's no one person who makes all the decisions.
okay.
What we do is, if something comes up, even just about everything, from
Hmm.
what we wear, you know,
Hmm.
we vote. We
Oh,
vote on
okay.
it, and if it's a tie, whatever, we flip a coin, and that's
Mm,
how we do that. But we vote. Well, Bo, why
okay.
do y'all vote?
Yeah.
Because
What do you vote?
voting is a way to introduce into our consciousness a loving God.
Mm,
So now we got to ask the God that, you know, we serve,
hmm.
what is going to be in the best interest? What is best? Which way should I vote? You know,
Mm,
and so, if, for example, if we, let's just say you were putting on a heck of an event, you said, "Bo, man, I need a group, man. But can you do it?" Blah blah. Okay, well, okay. Let me take this back to the group. Hey, you guys, we've got this situation here. Yada yada yada. Uh, what do y'all want to do?
hmm.
Well, I vote to do it. Well, I vote no. I vote to
Hmm.
do it. Well, I vote to do it too. So, majority rules.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah. So yeah.
How many group members are there in the group?
We started out with five. We started out
Oh,
with five. One of our group members passed away from cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, his name was Glenn Dillard, and rest in peace, Glenn. And
Yeah.
so Glenn had cancer, you know,
Mm.
and for the next couple of shows, few shows after that, we performed. We did not perform his signature song, which is "Sideshow"
Mm.
by the
Blue Magic.
Blue Magic. Thank you. And we didn't perform his signature song in honor of him.
Yeah.
So what we did was we had an empty mic on stage with us,
Okay.
and we were representing Glenn.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So, and right now we currently have four, you know,
Okay.
and we're, we just give it our best, man, and do our best. And generally speaking, people really like us, and as you're gonna see, and you'll be able uh, uh, to talk more about this with your listeners after May 3rd. But we have a lot
Yeah.
of fun there. We have a lot of fun there, and so that's what it's all about, man. Bringing people together, having a joyous time, and yeah, you're gonna see the the traditions experience.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys are going to talk more to our guest, Bo Hullen, but let's get back in this countdown. The number 14 song comes from Solange Knowles. This song is called Cranes in the Sky. Let's go into it. Cranes in the Sky by Knowles on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, we did three in a row for you. We did Solange Knowles with Cranes in the Sky. Number 13 was another Natasha Bedingfield song. The song was called Pocket Full of Sunshine. And number 12 was Taylor Swift with Don't Blame Me. Now it's time to get into the comedy corner. The comedy corner comes from a friend of mine. I've been knowing him. He's my oldest friend. Been knowing him since 1988. How long was that? 37 years. I've been knowing him for 37 years. We grew up together. It was none other than my good friend Billy Ramirez. He's doing his comedy thing. Let's get into it. The comedy of my best friend Billy Ramirez on Big Old South 20 Countdown. Yeah, yo, that was a very, very funny Billy Ramirez. I'm not just saying that because he's my friend, but he's really, really funny. We're talking to our guest, Bo. Bo, we're gonna stay on music just for one more question. One more question about the music. Um, what's your favorite song to perform?
Oh boy, the one that I do, or
Uh
just the
huh.
the, the group does.
A whole group, the group, or whatever, the one you do,
Oh
whatever one is your favorite.
wow. Um, I guess the favorite. Let me start with the favorite song that I typically do. I won't be doing it this show because I'm doing something
Oh,
else. But my
okay.
favorite song that I like to perform is "Since I Lost My Baby" by the
Oh, okay.
Temptations.
Okay.
And but the overall group, wow, there's so many to choose from. But if I have to just nail down one right now, I would say it is "Just in Case" by
Oh,
Jaheim.
oh, I love that song.
Yeah, yeah. So we do perform that, and we've got some heck of a choreography that goes with it.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. And so yeah, so those are my two favorite songs.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
in lieu of "Since I Lost My Baby," I'm gonna be doing "My Girl" by the
I love that
Temptations.
song.
Yeah, so
Another great
um,
song.
yeah, so we got a show put together. So yeah,
Anyway, I can't wait to see it. I know it's gonna be awesome.
yeah.
I know it's gonna be awesome. And you know what? I'm gonna take this time to go back in this countdown, but then I'm gonna ask you some more questions about your other adventures. So let's get into it. The number 11 song comes from AKMU. This song was called "Give Love." Let's get into it. "Give Love" by AKMU on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, we did the number 10 song. Number 10 song was by IU. The song was called "Not Spring Love" or Cherry Blossoms. It's a great song. And we're talking to our guest, Bo Hullen. But now it's time to get to the second extra song of the week. The second extra song of the week comes from Sarah, another Sarah Lightman song. The song is called Burn. Let's go into it. Burn. Second extra song of the week on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown, baby. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, I can't sing the song. I can't sing those lyrics because I don't know it. I don't know it by heart. So we're just gonna say the song we just heard was called "Burn" by Sarah Lightman. We're talking to our guest Bo Hullen. Bo, you also said that. How did you get your marriage and family counselor? How did you get into that?
Well, I've always uh, wondered, um, when a child
Mhm.
or an African American child, let's just kind of keep it in that vein, uh,
Okay.
has to go see a therapist for whatever reason. Typically,
Mm-hmm.
they did not look like us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just decided to do my part, and so I got into this field, and because my specialization is in African American families. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't work with anybody else. Absolutely not. I
Mm-hmm.
work with everybody because I understand in our society that diversity is our strength.
That's true.
Uh, but I just wanted to do my part and for our community and make myself available to those that are in need of some services.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing that?
I actually graduated in 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been around for a couple cups of coffee now. So yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, you know what? We're gonna talk more to you. Let's get back in this countdown for the second time. The number nine song comes from Callie Eustace. The song is called After the Storm. Let's get into it. Callie Eustace with After the Storm, number nine on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, we did three in a row for you. We did Callie Eustace with After the Storm. Number eight was Electric Light Orchestra, My Mr. Blue Sky. And number seven was another Stevie B song with Party Your Body. Yeah, he was a dancer back in the 80s and 90s. But I guess that's not neither here nor there. Yeah, it's time to get to the independent song of the week. Independent song of the week comes from Sarah Lightman, another Sarah Lightman song. This song is called Today. I did this because it's easy, to keep one artist. Let's get into it. Sarah Lightman with Today on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown, independent song of the week. Yeah, y'all, that was the awesome Sarah Lightman with Today. And we're talking to our guest, Bo. Bo, I'm gonna tell you, Bo, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. I always tell you guys how I met the artist, the person on the show. He was actually my counselor over at where I'm staying at over at the Rainbow. I don't know how many. I think it was like you were one of the counselors. I don't know how many was it, a year or so? I don't know how many.
Yeah, it was a little over a year
Yeah,
I
man,
was
and
there.
what? But it was like some time ago when I was like, man. Then you told me he was a singer. I was like, oh man, I was on your jock then. I was like, oh yes. Even though I had never been to one of your shows, I was like, oh wow, yes, oh yes. And I was supposed to come to one of your shows, but something happened. We couldn't make it. I think I had to work that day. But I was like, yeah. Every time you post something, I'm always saying, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. But now it's coming into fruition. That's so awesome, man.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, you told me a little privately about your sobriety journey, but tell my listeners a little bit about your journey to becoming who you are right now.
Well, I can share this with you. Years ago, I was in a seemingly hopeless state of mind. I was homeless, hopeless, helpless. I actually left the luxury of a bus stop bench in Long Beach, and I
Hmm.
ended up sleeping downtown on the streets of Skid Row.
Wow.
And February 5th, 1998,
Hmm.
God seemed fit for me to go into a treatment program. and I haven't looked back since. 6 months after I got into treatment, I started going to school, and I continued in school, and continued in school until I was able to earn an AA degree, a BA degree, and I got a double master's.
Go ahead.
The first one is in marriage and family therapy, specializing in African American families, and the next one is in psychology. I was working on a PhD, but
Mhm.
I had some financial disasters strike me. I know that I put an S at the end
Yeah.
of that, disasters
Yeah.
strike me, and so that prevented me from moving forward with the PhD. But I was
Mhm.
able to, get that second master's degree from the work that I had done in the PhD program. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I have 27 years. Today is the 17th. I have 27 years and 12 days clean.
That's,
I've been in
that's
recovery
awesome.
that long, and it didn't come all in one chunk.
I know it didn't.
It
I
came one
know.
day at a time, one day at a time, and so, yeah. So I'm in a 12-step program,
That's
and
awesome.
I love it. Love it. Wouldn't
That's
give it up
awesome.
for the world.
So, since you've been clean so long, do you mentor other people who went through what you went through, or you just
Well, it's called sponsorship, and I don't
okay?
have any sponsees currently.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, at some point, if someone approaches me and say, "Hey, man, will you sponsor me?" Uh, the fellowship I belong to, we don't turn down a request.
Okay.
So but in my fellowship, the men work with the men and the women work with the women. So a woman could not come up to me and say, "Hey, will you sponsor me?" That's not going to work. I will
Okay.
redirect her to a female who could
Okay.
best serve her, because women have a unique set of circumstances. I could never understand. As a man, I could never understand it. I couldn't understand, the pain that she experienced going through giving
Yeah.
birth, but
Yeah.
another female could. So, uh, yeah. So, if a guy comes up to me and say, "Hey, Bo, man, I need you to sponsor me, man," so let's get started. So that's what it's called, sponsorship.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're educating me. You're educating me. I kind of knew what it was, but I kind of like, I don't, don't know all of it. You know what, y'all? We're gonna talk more to our guest, Bo. Bo, we're gonna get in your business next. So, if you don't want to be me in your business, sorry, you got roped into it. But let's get into our number six song. The number six song comes from So You and Gigolo were featuring Little Boy of Geeks. This song was called Some. Let's get into it. Some by Soyu on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, y'all, that was the number five song. Another Stevie B song was I Want to Be the One. I used to like that song. Now it's time to get to the old school gem of the week. Old school gem of the week comes from a lady. She's been on the countdown before. Not in person, but her songs have been. That'll be like if I ever have this woman on my countdown, I think I would be too geeked to even do the interview. 39 years ago, her big breakthrough album came out, and this was actually the first single from the album. This is none other than Anita Baker with this song is one of my favorites from the Rapture album. This song is called Sweet Love because this album was released 39 years ago today. Let's get into it. Anita Baker with Sweet Love, the old school gem of the week on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. Yeah, y'all, that was Anita Baker. Sweet love, hear me calling out your name. I feel no shame. I'm in love. Hey, sweet love. Yeah, man. He's just looking at me. But it's all right, bro. It's all right. Speaking of love, I always ask this question. Don't take it personal. Um, what does your love life look like?
Well, I'm currently single,
Okay.
so yeah, I've been kind of really focused on myself, uh,
Okay.
focused on my recovery, and focused on my career, which again is helping others uh, desperately in need. Uh, and so, yeah, I'm single as the number one, and I'm
Okay.
okay with that. I'm okay
You're
with
okay with
that.
it?
Yeah, I've been married once.
Oh, you were.
It
Oh, okay.
didn't work out, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's about it for the love life. Ain't much to talk about there. So what can I say? Yeah.
I like that. You're smooth. You were smooth with it. All right, now. That means stay the hell out of my business. You know, that's what it means. And you're talking to an elder brother. For real. Um, Speaking of that, I want you to give me a little bit of a minute of your wisdom. Give somebody some inspirational thing. Give somebody like somebody wants to do what you're doing as far as life is concerned. Just give them a minute of inspiration. A pep
Well,
talk.
again, man, there's when I mentioned about my accomplishments, that wasn't to be braggadocious or anything to that effect. But it's simply to carry a message of hope. You know, what do you mean a message of hope, Bo? Well, you know what? If somebody like me and where I was down at the bottom of the barrel can accomplish some things, so can you. So can you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a patent on that, so it's available to all who want it. I'd like to, kind of end by simply saying this to all your listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Oftentimes, man, we've had experiences in our lives that weren't pleasant, you know. So uh, I don't care what you've done. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care what has happened to you over the
Mm-hmm.
course of your life. You know, uh, you need to always remember to never forget that you are a very important person.
That's right.
If you take nothing else from this interview today, please take with you that you are a very important person, you know. And to all those important people out there that's listening right now,
Mm-hmm.
stay humble,
Mm-hmm.
remain important because you are.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know what, y'all? We're gonna talk more to our guest Bo, but let's get back in this countdown. The number four song comes from Corinne Bailey Ray. This song is called "Put Your Records On." Let's get into it. "Put Your Records On" by Corinne Bailey Ray on Big Old Top 20 Spring Countdown. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, we did three in a row for you. We did number four was Corinne Bailey Ray with "Put Your Records On." Number three was one of my favorite Michael Jackson songs. This song was called "Butterflies." I just wanna. No, I'm not gonna get into it. And number two was Pharrell with "Happy." One of my favorite. That's one of my favorite Pharrell songs. Now it's time to get into the number one song. The number one song is "Wow." I absolutely love this song. This is by the legendary Donna Summer, and this song is called "What?" Spring Affair. Let's get into it. Spring Affair by Donna Summer, number one on Big O's Top 20 Spring Songs. Yeah, you guys, that was the number one song. Bo, how can people reach you?
Well, um, my number is out in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So 213
Mm-hmm.
or you can email me at dr.hulen, Hulen 123 at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, I want to say thank you to our guest, Bo Hullen. And I want to say also thank you to all the stations that carry us. The Block FM. We recently reunited with Kill Radio. What's a 92.3 in Atlanta. We just started working with them. I'm excited about that. Um, who else? The Podcast Awards, the XMA Awards, Apple Music. Thank you guys so much. And you guys, this has been, thank you for holding me down for the past 9 seasons. I think this is our 341st show, I think, or 40th. I lost count, but we're still doing it. I want to say thank you all. And if you all want to reach me, you can reach me at www linktree.com/OLUSHEYI.BANJO. Thoughts for the week is keep climbing and eventually you will reach your destination. And we always end this with a gospel song, but you know what? I'm gonna end this with no, you know what? No, we're gonna do it gospel. We're gonna do it gospel. All right, I'm gonna go back. I'm doing my song called Agape Love. Let's get into it. My song called Agape Love on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. May God bless you. May God keep you until we meet again.